Hey, NintenCisco here. Happy New Year's, happy 2023. This is gonna be my video talking about the games I played in 2022. There is a lot of games I've been wanting to talk about and give mini reviews for, and they're not exclusive to 2022 releases. Some games are a little bit older, but these are the games that I played in 2022 without any order. I'm not giving any sort of ranking. We're not doing like a number 10 is my least favorite, number 1's my greatest. Reason for this is so people don't just hop straight to 1 and say, oh, what was his favorite? Elden Ring? Okay, we're done. 2022 was not my favorite year of gaming. I would say that Nintendo dropped the ball a lot. So many bugs and glitches, so many games that had just had the drip content. I hate that. So I wasn't a big fan of games this year, but in general, surprisingly, I still played a lot of video games. Before we even had our first release in 2022, I was playing Miles Morales. So a lot of people online, they talk about like representation matters and like everyone needs to be represented. I'm not someone who thinks that. I just think you need a good story and good characters. Everything should just be high quality, and I don't really think representation really matters in that. Until I played Miles Morales, and Puerto Rico was just represented a lot. I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican and Puerto Rican, and just seeing my culture being represented in that game was so special. I felt so represented, and I don't know, it was a great feeling. So now I kind of understand where those people are coming from. So yeah, it was really cool. I really enjoyed the game. Unfortunately, I haven't beaten it. The story is fantastic, the gameplay is amazing, the graphics look amazing. I was playing Miles Morales. Unfortunately, to this day, I still have yet to beat it due to Pokemon, Elden Ring, Kirby. At that time they were all coming out, and I just kept dropping the game. The thing is, Miles Morales isn't really a game, in my opinion, where you can just put the game down and pick it back up. Because every time I pick the game back up, I'm like, how do you play this? And I'm looking through the list of combos, and I'm like, this is way too complicated. I can't figure this out, which leads me to keep dropping the game, and I have yet to finish the game, unfortunately. But that is something that is a personal problem for me. That is in no way like affecting the game rating. I'm still giving this game a rating of great. Regardless of a year of gaming is great or not, there's always that one title that you can play that just revolutionizes gaming in your eyes. For me, Breath of the Wild was that one game that was like, wow, I felt like I was kind of losing my love for gaming a bit, but it just brought me back and it just taught me what video games are all about again. Same thing with Ghost of Tsushima, and leading up to this year, the next game that really hit, for me, it was Elden Ring. Yes, that's right, we're gonna jump right into the first game talking about Elden Ring. From Software, they just always hit. Sekiro, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, they just always make such great games. Elden Ring's the type of game that was like, hey, you want an adventure? Well, we're not gonna decide what your adventure's gonna be. Go out, go off and be great. And it just throws you out into the field and go off and explore. The multiplayer was very fantastic. You get to join in your friends, you can drop items for them, and you guys can go explore. I loved the freedom, the mystery. Like, all the story is being told through characters and stuff you find in dungeons. A lot of criticisms I heard for this game was that it was too hard, and why does From Software make hard games? It doesn't make it a good game if it's hard. This is an RPG. If you just go grind out levels and then you can sweep the boss. If you haven't played Elden Ring, I strongly recommend it. And hey, if you die at the very beginning, don't get mad and turn it off. The From Software games, you die a lot. Just like when you die a lot in Mario games. You don't get mad and say, I'm never playing Mario games. Mario games are hard. No, you boot it back up and you keep trying. Same thing with Elden Ring. Same thing with any From Software game. Speaking of Mario, we have Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. I didn't beat this game either. I got pretty far in this game. I think I'm on like the last world. But this game was that hidden gem that I feel like nobody played. Mario Rabbids games usually go on sale really fast. It's like the month after and it's already 50% off. So I was not gonna pay $60 for this game, except that I did because I use gift cards. But what happened was, it was centered around Rosalina, who's one of my favorite characters of all time, favorite characters of all gaming. And so when I saw that it was centered around her and that there's some major conflict going on with her, I just had to find out. I'm enjoying every second of this game from start to finish so far. It has so much charm. The Rabbids have voices now and it's really great. I love Mario Rabbid, he's my favorite. He'd be like, hey, where's the Gabagoo? About 1, 2. And I'm like, yeah, that's my boy. So far everything's been great. I think I was on the 4th world. I think it starts to get a little samey after a bit. but still the charm is there. They did a fantastic job with this game. I think after the success of the first game, Nintendo gave Ubisoft a little bit more leeway with using their characters, because I think in this game there was a lot more Nintendo presence. If you look at the first game, there's not really that much of a collab. Everything is Mario Rabbids, and then you just, like, the first level has Mario stuff, and then the rest of the game doesn't really have anything. In this game, I saw consistent Nintendo presence, or Mario presence, throughout the whole game so far, so really great game. And Mario Rabbids, also, I'm giving it a score of great. Cisco, you're being too positive. Give us a game that you hate. I'll give you a game I hate. We gotta talk about the elephant in the room. Mario Strikers has gotta be the worst game that ever been made from Nintendo. I'm so pissed off with this game. This was one of the games I was anticipating the most for 2022. I picked that game up right away, and I remember booting it up. I went on vacation with some friends. We were in a cabin, and I brought my TV and my Switch, booted up this game. Everyone had already went to bed, and I just remember sitting there, and just, this was my face. I was like, haha, wow, that's cool. I hate this game. Just immediately, the controls were awful. I didn't like the controls that much. There was just too much going on. The battlefield is way too tiny. And yeah, I mean, it's just boring. It's just, you know, everything that was shown in the trailer was the entirety of the game. Oh, but Mario Strikers in general doesn't have that much content. Yes, I know that. But when you have less characters than any of the Mario Striker games, and then the whole point of this game is to collect the armor, but then you can only get like 1 coin if you lose a fight. If you win a fight, you get like 10 coins. So, but then the armor is like anywhere from 300 to 500, I think some are even 800 coins, I don't know. Alright, so you do the tourney, because the tourney gives you a crap ton of coins, but you can only do it once. Then you get lesser rewards. So if you really want all the gear on all the characters, you're gonna have to really grind for it in a game that's just boring to grind for. But I will give it that the character animations are absolutely phenomenal. I love seeing all the character models, their animations when they're doing their you know, big kick. It's great. I like that. So there's charm there. I think this game just needed a lot more development time. It feels so rushed. I'm giving this game the worst possible score of ugh. Nintendo finally gifted us the 3D Kirby after we have asked for years and years. Kirby has always been such a charming game. The story in this game was great. The levels were fun, but I think Kirby suffers from that. Oh man, a lot of Nintendo games, when they do the platforms, they do the same like forest level, desert level, the lava level. There's a level where it's like the circus, and then there's, you know, roller coasters and stuff, and that is so good. It is amazing. That is such a great world. I loved every single level of it. But then you have some like the desert level where it's just your typical desert level, your typical lava level, and it's like, come on, Nintendo. The game is also extremely short. It's like 5 hours, if that. And I think it's like 8 to 10 hours if you want to 100% it. So, I don't know. Not really much. If you're paying $60, you're not getting that much content. So I would wait for a sale. But again, I'm not saying the game is bad. It's a good game. I enjoy it. If you don't mind paying the $60 for the game, I would say it's good. Get it. I really enjoyed that title. So I'm giving it the rating of okay. And okay is not a bad thing. A lot of the games on my list I have rated as okay. Splatoon 3, oh my god. Very often do I hear Splatoon fans get really upset when you say that Splatoon 3 is just Splatoon.5. Here's the thing. They're absolutely wrong, and Splatoon 3 is Splatoon 2.5. Don't come at me. It is. Don't even start with me. If you just added the story mode, which was amazing by the way, Nintendo perfected the story for Splatoon 3 in my opinion. I thought that was a great story, probably one of the best stories I've played in 2022. Absolutely loved it. I play Splatoon for the story. Maybe that's where I come wrong with Splatoon series, but whatever. There wasn't just some cheaply made boss and they were like, go on to the next world. I felt like every world added to the story, which is what Nintendo needs to do more of, because more often than not, your princess in another castle up until the final world where they're like, oh yeah, boss time, and then you get that nice little cutscene that you're like, oh, so adorable, I love Nintendo, and then the game ends, you get the credits. In this game, I felt like every single world, I got to the boss, and there was always some cool thing happening that made me on the edge of my seat, that made me want to keep going. So amazing story. The gameplay, everything else, the multiplayer has connectivity issues. All the new stuff that they added, which was like the Tricolor Splatfest, the table turf, the collecting stuff for your locker, all of that was shit. I hated that. And none of it was fun. I don't see anybody who says, I really like the table turf. That was actually a really good game mode. No, nobody says that. Maybe a few people liked it. And if they did, great. I'm happy for you because you got more out of your money. The locker I dedicated like 2 minutes to, I was like, yeah, no, that's it? That's it? Oh, come on, man. There's a lot of the stuff that they added to Splatoon 3 was the lesser stuff. Like the new game modes, nobody likes them. The new weapons and the new abilities, like especially the Spider-Man ability, no one really likes that. It's useless. Splatoon 3, I don't think is a bad game at all. I think it's solid, but I do think there should have been more because as far as the game was released, it's just exactly like Splatoon 2 with a 0.5 added to it because of the story mode, but everything else is not that great. You can come at me and say, oh, what do you know? I don't know, man. I played a lot of Splatoon 1, 2, and 3 at this point. Well, I didn't play that much 3, but I played all the Splatoons. Although Splatoon 3 has a lot of flaws in my eyes, I'm gonna give it still the rating of okay. I really like the story mode. Speaking of story-heavy games, we're gonna get into a franchise that's so meaty that the developers make content faster than you can play it. Monolith Soft. It's time to talk about Xenoblade. Wait, hold on. We're not talking about Xenoblade 3. We're not talking about that new game. Rest easy, we're not talking about it. I wasn't able to play Xenoblade 3, one because the special edition was exclusive to Nintendo's site, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in the history of Nintendo. So I was not able to get my hands on it twice, just was never able to get it because the site crashed and then it just messed up people's accounts and yeah, no, it was just a big mess. I don't understand why out of all the games, Nintendo chose the special edition of Xenoblade 3 to make it exclusive to their website. That does not work. Anyways, I was never able to get my hands on it. I was never able to buy it. I still needed to catch up on Xenoblade. Now, I played Xenoblade starting with the 3DS. When they ported it over to the new 3DS, there was a Xenoblade Chronicles 1. It was like the port from the Wii edition. Then I got into Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was a fun game. I don't think it's perfect, but it's a good game. And then I played 2, but I never finished it. Then the Definitive Edition came out, and I bought the Special Edition, but I never played it either. This year, I caught up. I finished the second game, and I finished the first game. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 has got to be one of the best games I've played. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, where do I even begin with this game? The graphics are absolutely amazing. They don't have the soulless faces anymore. They're full of life. And oh my gosh, the visuals are fantastic. The story is just full of twists and turns. There were some things I was getting right and other things that I was like, wow, I never saw this coming. That's crazy. Every single character on the team in this RPG of an amazing game, all of them were just great. I love Charla, Rhine, Dunban's my favorite character. We've got Shulk, Melia, Ricky Tiki Tavi can go away. I don't like any of the no-pawns in any of the Xenoblade games. But all these characters are great. Oh, Fiora too. I love Fiora. Just overall, man, so many amazing characters. They all have their internal conflicts. They all go through so much pain, and you just feel for them. By the end of the game, man, I didn't cry through any of it, but I definitely, some of my heartstrings were tugged for certain characters. I was just like, man, dude, why do they have to go through so much pain? This sucks. But at the same time, it's not a tearjerker. It's like this story about uprising and sticking to your beliefs, and you know, sometimes it's okay to question it. There was times in the game where I felt like your morals were just being questioned and you didn't have the answer right away and you had to like really think about it. So I really enjoyed it. Just overall, such an amazing game. I give this story, I give it another rating of great. I would give it amazing too. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is probably one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where do I even begin with this game, guys? First of all, at the first half of the game, I liked it, but I stopped, and then this year, or sorry, 2022, I finished it off. This game, oh my gosh, I love Pyra, I love Mithra, I love Mia, I love those characters. I absolutely hate Rex. The internal conflict wasn't as grand as Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I mean, you'd be faced with some crazy opposition, They're like, yeah, you suck, boy. You're unmatched. We're like gods here. How are you gonna take us on? And then Rex would just be like, because we're gonna go to Elysium. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, how does that solve anything? Like, I just don't understand. Well, why do you want to go to Elysium, Rex? Why do you want to go there? For Pyra! I don't understand. So you meet this girl, Pyra. She's a big booby anime girl, and so now you just like her, and you're like, let's get her to Elysium. I'm gonna risk everything I've ever known for this girl. And then this guy's like 15 or 14 years old, and you got all these adult women that's like, whoa, Rex, so mysterious. Oh my god, he's so freaking dumb that I'm just madly in love with this guy. So everyone just loves Rex for some reason, and I think he's like the worst protagonist. Don't even get me started with the Nopon in this game was the worst. He was making this maid robot named Poppy. He was so annoying. Everything was just like, you could have someone just on his deathbed like, oh, this is a very sad scene. I'm dying. And Rex is like, no, you can't be dead. And then you just have this guy, oh, Tatsu sad. Yo, go away, bro. What are you doing here? Stop it. Stop it. You're ruining the scene. The voice acting is absolutely terrible. You have Rex shouting his heart out, and then it's just like, guys, come on, we have to do better. And he's just, but instead his voice is like, what is the voice acting in this game?
Can't let you do this. So long, kid.
The controls are so messy. There's so many points. The whole blade system was so complicated. So yeah, no, I'm gonna give this game I'm gonna be generous and say okay, because I genuinely do like the story. I like the characters, but everything was so messy and cringy, and yeah, I just Xenoblade 2, man, and the fact that I had to put 80 hours into that game, jeez. I'm gonna give this a solid rating of okay. Xenoblade Chronicles 1, amazing.
I'll kill you!
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it needs a lot of work.
Hitting girls isn't as much fun.
Hey guys, editing Cisco here. So obviously the video at this point is getting really long, and I still haven't even talked about the Pokemon segment. There's like 3 Pokemon games I'm talking about, and I go in like real in depth with them. So I'm probably going to make a separate video for the Pokemon games, but if you absolutely must know, I basically praise Legends Arceus. I love the game through and through. And then Pokemon Scarlet, I gave it like kind of like the Splatoon 3 treatment, where it's like praise the story. I love a lot of the new Pokemon, but geez, to its core, there's a lot of issues, like clearly with the bugs and stuff like that, and I just think it's completely unacceptable for Game Freak to, you know, rush out a game with all those bugs and all these problems. So I gave it, you know, I think I gave it a score of like okay, but I'll go more in depth in that in a separate video. But I do still like Pokemon Scarlet. But yeah, okay, that's all. I'm gonna leave those Pokemon parts out, and let's move on. These are my games in 2022 that I played. I played more, but these are the ones I wanted to talk about. Hopefully the video is not too long, because I have a lot to say. Now, overall, I know a lot of these titles I was very negative about. Just want you guys to know that besides like Mario Strikers, which I think is just a hopeless situation, all these other games like Splatoon 3, and like Xenoblade 2 and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I enjoyed all those titles. I had a lot of fun. I am not telling you not to buy those. I'm just saying those titles maybe be a little more wary. And look a little more into it to see if it's more of your cup of tea before you purchase it, because I wasn't too happy with those titles. But overall, everything I played this year was fun. There was a lot of mishaps with Nintendo, a lot of things that they did that just really upset me. Game Freak as well, Pokemon as well. Like they just a lot of things they did that just kind of upset me. But overall, it was a pretty solid year, and I'm just so excited for 2023. Let me know down below, guys, what are games that you played in 2022, so this past year, that you really liked. Tell me. I want to hear about your guys' favorite games this year. Tell me what games did you absolutely loved, and yeah, just give me a review of those games too. All right, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Happy New Year, and we'll catch you on the next video. Peace.